Alright, y'all, so today we're going to be showcasing a character that's been in the game for quite some time, and it's going to be a little bit different to the previous time that we did, obviously showcase this character. Yes, this Green Yuji. Now, he wasn't necessarily terrible, but there was definitely some better options, especially with Hollow Purple Gojo on the rise. We definitely knew that we weren't going to need this character whatsoever. But they did give him some buffs, and you already know the drill. Out of all the 18 buffed characters, I would have to say him, right? This Yuji and JJK Zero probably benefited the most from all the buffs out of everything. And he's still relevant, especially on JP, right? Considering he is a free-to-play character, you can get dupes of him, and on top of that, you have the wish list to select him. So obviously, there's people shitting on the wish listing, but are the same people who don't know shit. And yeah, I mean, obviously, Green Yuji's probably, in my opinion, the best one out of the 3 characters on that wish list. Yeah, Blue Gojo's good, but he's gonna get outperformed by Suguna by miles ahead, right? So Green Yuji, I feel like, is probably the best one out of the wish list to be selecting, and he's a really good character now with of course his buffs. And then once we have the first sweep or potential boss, then we're obviously going to have some extra things that we can do to him too, which are going to be very nice. So let's talk about passive skills, right? So one of the major buffs we got right now is the new Zone Outburst auto skill, which isn't just like I call it Zone Outburst, but it's Zone In, right? On JP, the obviously scuff version is called Zone Outburst. And basically, it isn't exclusive to Green Yuji. There's pretty much all the characters who can Black Flash have this, right? And Black Flash effects, they were kind of part of the character trait, so you usually can find them over here. But they've been moved to their auto skills, and the effects of some characters when black flashing have basically been buffed or adjusted too. So basically, before Yuji would get a simple increase in his black flash rate when he performed the black flash. Now, not only does he get 100% increased black flash rate for 3 turns, but he also increases his physical damage by 30% for 3 turns and recovers 5 curse energy, which is really good in maintaining, of course, his buffs, his attacks, everything. He'll be more consistent in just outputting as much damage as possible while also buffing himself. Having a buff on top of that is really good. Now, the self buff is stackable, and in an optimal scenario, you can probably get all 3 stacks after ulting. So skill 1, it did get buff. It got a little bit more damage, nothing too special. We don't really care about skill 1 all that much anyways. Now, skill 2 was left unchanged. I don't think they really needed to change it whatsoever because it gives you crit rate, gives you black flash rate, it recovers your ult gauge. If they did anything to this or added anything to it, it would have been too busted. So I think it's fine right where it's at. Obviously, mine is not a 10, which if I did, you would kind of see that he would perform even better in this scenario that I'm about to show you. Your skill 3 got quite a buff in its damage multiplier, and its curse energy cost got reduced from 30 to 25. He was able to perform a black flash on the 4th hit, but now it seems that he is also able to black flash on all 4 hits, which substantially is an insane improvement compared to just only being able to get black flash on the 4th hit. Now we're going to come to the cream of the la creme, right, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Anyways, the black flash. Now this is going to be the craziest part of his entire kit. So his special is finally above 1000% multiplier. Not just that, it's 1200%. So I don't have it maxed, but it's 1200%. This is absolutely nuts considering the fact that it's a very, very high chance to black flash too, which is going to get you even more damage, basically guaranteeing almost a 3000% multiplier. That's very powerful. And since he's a release SSR whose dupes are quite easy to obtain, he becomes even more insane because you have the dupes to actually make him feel stronger, essentially, right? So like I mentioned before, you have the wish list on global, which is very good in helping you obtain him. He's on all the standard banners. A lot of people pulled him from the beginning with the SSR tickets, stuff like that. Very, very good. So this Yuji, I feel like his buff was actually really insane with JJK Zero Ghetto. Anyways, without further ado, let's actually get into the team, and then we'll go into the actual showcase. We'll do some tower floors just to kind of showcase what he can do now. But yeah, this is going to be the team. We have Yaga, Nanami, Gakuganji. These are going to be your buffer, debuffers. We have Yuji as our main star. We're going to do some tower floors and yeah, kind of showcase what, the newly buffed Yuji can do. All right, so we're here on floor 22. So straight off the bat, Unity and buffing. We have enough curse energy to maintain everything. We're going to use this memory here and then buff with Nanami. This is going to provide us some damage reduction. We're going to use this memory. This is going to give us some cursed energy on our Gakuganji, and we'll use this skill 3. And then we'll just start buffing with our Yuji here. Keep an eye on Yuji's ult gauge. Look how much he got. He basically got like 40%. Which is a lot. We'll buff here. We'll buff. Debuff again. and then buff. So Yuji practically already almost about to get his ult straight off the bat, very quick. We'll buff again, we'll buff here, heal 3, and then buff. It's fine if Nanami dies, we don't care. We're gonna buff here, and now we have our Momo who came in, who can also buff. We'll debuff here with Ganji. That'll be the last debuff, and then obviously the last buff from Yaga. The enemy has a damage reduction of 20%, so keep that in mind. But we also did come in with our Momo, so Momo's memory did proc the Malevolent Shrine, the passive effect, the debuff one, which obviously increases damage taken from physical technique skills by 30% for 2 turns. So now we're going to use Like-Minded Sisters and then the ultimate, and then let's see how much damage our Yuji can do. Okay, 1.2, 1 mil, and then another 1 mil. So roughly about 3.5 mil. I'd say that's pretty decent. Right, that's pretty decent considering, you know, obviously I don't have like, you know, max grades on him or max levels, and then obviously his skill levels aren't at the max either. So there's definitely some more damage that you can, you know, to be gained out of him. All right, so we're on floor 23, so it's going to be the same deal here. Now, one thing I did want to note that I didn't mention obviously on floor 22 when we did that is keep in mind, Yuji does get stronger with black flashes, and considering we were just kind of buffing him with skill 2, we obviously didn't get those extra buffs that he could have gotten from obviously black flashing the enemy. So he does get stronger as you continuously keep fighting and doing more damage to the enemy. But in that situation where obviously I was just setting up for nukes and stuff like that, you weren't really going to see it all too well.
授業を始めよう。気張っていきましょう。よし。くらい。
Got Ganji dead, that's fine. Buff, buff, buff. Heal 2. Buff, buff. Heal 2. And then obviously, you know, memory and ult. 2.2 mil, 1.9 mil, 1.8 mil, so 6 million as you see there, right? And remember, like I mentioned just earlier before we actually started fighting this boss is, you know, I wasn't attacking, I was only using skill 2, so I wasn't getting those black flashes, those buffs from, I believe, the zone in effect. So I definitely could have hit a lot harder if I had, you know, obviously been attacking prior to using my skill 2s. But yeah, as you can see there, he did 6 million easily without really having to do much, just simple setup, right? Let's move on to the next one. All right, same deal again. So let's just keep going. And remember, keep in mind, all this damage we're doing is in like 4 turns of setup. Almost practically nothing. Very quick, very efficient, very fast.
授業を始めよう。気張っていきましょう。いける。くらい。最善の一手。片付けます。参る。いける。授業を始めよう。気張っていきましょう。くらい。
1.5, 1.3, and then 1.3 again. Very high numbers. And yeah, I mean, he's basically dead here, right? Like, he doesn't live any of this. Yeah, very simple. Now, there is some floors that he can do on the higher end, right? So one of those floors is going to be floor 46. Floor 46 he can do, but you definitely do need some good debuffers in the game that aren't out on global yet, like, you know, domain expansion Gojo. So obviously, you know, he's still very strong, very powerful. I'm not going to be showcasing him at 46, but I just wanted to point that out, that you can use him on 46 while utilizing Domain Expansion Gojo, and he can even clear the higher floors too. So he definitely can be your green carry. You know, a very nice alternative. This is going to be going forward even for imaginary realms versus battles, all that good stuff. He's definitely going to be a good option. Granted, you know, you don't need Hollow Purple Gojo in those situations. Like example, if a boss obviously takes reduced damage from curse technique damage, then obviously Green Yuji might be better in that situation, and he definitely can carry you. But obviously if you haven't used him before, then obviously you really wouldn't be able to tell how much better he gotten. But if you had used him previously, you can see literally it's night and day how much better he is previously from his release till his, obviously now when he got buffed. He does a shit ton more damage. Like I think back then we were just hitting like 2 millions or whatever. And bro is hitting like 6 millions average, right? Obviously that first run, the first floor I did wasn't the best showcase of it, but the 23rd floor, he definitely cooked through that easily, right? And then obviously we did have the 24th floor. It's like whatever, bro. Like, I mean, that guy, he got fucking obliterated too. But yeah, Green Yuji definitely a lot better than he was previously. You can definitely see the difference in his damage. He is now a very good DPS to use alternatively if you do not have Hollow Purple Gojo. Anyways, without further ado, that is going to be the Yuji showcase, and I definitely think I definitely enjoy playing him. He feels good just because when you hit those black flashes, it feels real nice. But yeah, that's the Yuji showcase. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.